Up to chapter 26, verse 12. The children of Shimon, Bnei Shimon u'mishpachotam, the children of Shimon by their families, Lemuel, Mishpachat Nemueli, the family, the Nemueli family, the Amini family, Yachin, the Yachni family, the Zerach family, and the Shaul, Mishpachat HaShauli. So, by the way, so Shimon has Shaul. But now let's look at Rashi for verse 13. It says, Zerach, for Zerach, he is Tzochar.
Where are we? 26.
Chapter 26, verse 13.
Rambam has a lot to say.
Hold on, let's read the Rashi here. Chapter 26, verse 13. And it says, for Zerach, Rashi says, Zerach, you know what Zerach means in Hebrew? To sunrise. So Rashi says he is Tzochar. Tzochar and Ohad are sons of Shimon mentioned in Genesis chapter 46. Lashon Sohar. It's related to the word Sohar. So the letters Chet and Hey are sometimes interchangeable. And remember where there's a Tzohar? Anybody remember where Tzohar first appears? In the Tanakh, in the Ark, they put a light, Tzohar. Rashi says, oh, Eliezer. Yeah, it's not working. Thank you, Eliezer. So Tzohar is a light, either a special stone or a window in the ark to give light. So Rashi says Zerach is another name for Tzochar, it's another name for Tzohar. But the Ohad family ceased to exist. And also 5 families from the tribe of Benjamin ceased to exist. So families are already disappearing. How do we know this? Because Benjamin went down to Egypt with 10 sons. And here they only count 5. So 5 sons of Benjamin disappeared. And also the family of Ishva of Asher also disappeared. And I found an explanation in the Jerusalem Talmud. See, this is why we need Rashi. Mm-hmm. Why does he have to say, I found in the Jerusalem Talmud? Why doesn't he just say that it was in the Jerusalem Talmud? Why does he have to say, I found? You know why?
Why?
Because most likely others didn't have the Jerusalem Talmud. He probably had a manuscript that others didn't have. That's why he says, oh, I found a manuscript. And in this manuscript of the Jerusalem Talmud, it said the following. It says that when Aaron died, what disappeared? The clouds of glory disappeared. And the Canaanites came to do battle with Israel. And then Israel considered going back to Egypt. So what happened? After Aaron died, the Canaanites came to do battle. And then they turned, so the Israelites wanted to go back. They had enough. They were afraid. We didn't have Aaron anymore. We don't have the cloud. And they turned to their rear. They went a journey of 8 marches backwards from Mount Hor to Mosera. As it states, the children of Israel journeyed from the wells of Bnei Akan to Mosera. And there, Aaron died. How could it be that Aaron died in Mosera? He died on Hor HaHar. So from Mosera to Hor HaHar were 8 marches in reverse direction. But they turned to their rear, and as they were going backward, what happened? What happened was, as they were going backward, is that Shmuel on the iPhone? There's somebody on an iPhone there. I don't know. But as they were going backwards, what happened was the Levites saw that these people were running away, that they were trying to go back to Egypt. This is in year 40. This is not in the text of the Torah. This is a midrash in the Talmud, in Yerushalmi Talmud, and it's because there's a problem, because it says Aaron died in 2 places. So what they're saying is that Aaron, hey there, Kobe. So what they're saying is that Aaron, after he died, the children of Israel, they were missing their protection, the cloud of glory, and they started running backwards. And they're trying to go back to Egypt. But the Levites ran after them to bring them back. And what happened then? Civil war. The Levites, this is not that there is precedent for this. After the golden calf, the Levites killed, they went 1/10 to 1/10 to another and were killing their brothers. Here too, they ran after them and they killed 7 families. They killed, some versions are 8 families. They wiped out these families. And that's what Rashi's saying. That's where all these families went. 5 families from Benjamin, and also Ivshav Asher. And not only that, from the Levites themselves, it wasn't like a total victory. They themselves lost 4 families. The Shimi, the Uzieli, and Bnei Yitzhar, the families of Shimite and Uzielite, they died. But Yitzhar was not even mentioned. Why not? Because they are the Korach family. They also already died because they're counted amongst the Korachs. And Rashi says here, in an unbelievable statement of humility, he says, I don't know what the 4th family is. So we're just seeing now that an incredible, what's the matter with it?
Do you have a paper clip?
Maybe one of these boys has a paper clip, like a bobby pin,
I need to reset it. Yeah. In the paper clip.
maybe a bobby pin.
It might be too big. The whole.
What?
I don't know about that now.
Hold on, I got an idea. I'm gonna ask Bear to, yeah. Do you think you can fix it, Alan?
Yeah,
Do you think it's broken?
yeah, but I gotta run down the first to see what. Just reset it and get.
Uh-oh, we lost the refrigerator. As the Talmud says, the Chumash is over there at the end, Rafi. At the end.
Ramban is.
Wait. Let me just hold on one second. Yeah, yes. Okay. So he says like this. Yeah, let me just finish the Rashi. So Rashi's saying here that there were a total of 7 or 8 families from Benjamin and Asher which died when they tried to go back to Egypt. They were killed by the Levites. And in that civil war, a hidden civil war, 4 Levite families died. But now I know you want, Eitan, you have an explanation you want to give.
Don't really have an explanation.
Oh, but I know you have, but before we get to that, let me finish the Rashi. Then the Rebbe Tanach, and Rashi says, I don't know the name of this 4th family, which is a statement of humility. Okay. But then the Rebbe Tanchuma explains that they didn't die in a civil war, but they died in a plague over the matter of Balaam. They died in a plague over the matter of Balaam, meaning to say after Balaam caused the Bnei Yisrael to sin, these families that sinned, then you have to say 5 of the Benjamin families were sinning, and they and these people died in the plague. But in light of the reduced number by which the tribe of Shimon is found lacking in this census, meaning to say, it appears that all 24,000 who fell in that plague fell from Shimon, meaning to say, Shimon goes way down, because Shimon at the beginning of the wilderness had 59,300. But here, their number is 22,200, a decline in the number of 37,100. So it thus stands to reason that all 24,000 who died in the plague were from the tribe of Shimon, since they instigated the sin which led to the plague. So Rashi disagrees with the Midrash, which says that they died in the plague, and supports interpretation of the Talmud, which says they died, in fact, returning to Egypt. But one thing is clear, the tribe of Shimon almost disappears, and they eventually are the first tribe to disappear. And so this Midrash is saying it's because they were the ones who sinned.
So we still have some Shimon?
Who? There's nobody from Shimon.
Well, yeah, because Yehuda absorbed Shimon.
Oh, I mean, we're all Yehuda, but they only be other tribes that possibly exist. As Guy walks in, is some people say like the Ethiopians were from the tribe of Dan, but that's just it's just like an anachronism. They're trying to justify something, but it's not accurate. By the way, we're gonna probably have to need some. Okay, who here is strong? Because I think what we're going to have to do, we have a big problem. One of our refrigerators broke, the upstairs refrigerator. What we're going to have to do is take one of the downstairs refrigerators, carry it up. Who's volunteering for that? Because I can't do it. Akiva and Toby, Ragai. We carry up the refrigerator. Come on, Moshe and Ezra, you guys are strong. So Rafi's the biggest here. Rafi, let's see. Rafi's got the muscle. Elon's the box. So we got to carry up the refrigerator and save the food. The only problem is the upstairs refrigerator, those downstairs don't have freezers. We'll figure that out too. But we have to carry them up. With the refrigerator?
Yeah.
If it's broken, what do you want it to?
Right now?
I don't know, after Mincha. Yeah, we have to do that. Okay. Anyway, yes, Eitan wanted to talk about
Well, it's a lot of lead up for not doing anything really spectacular, because I don't really understand what he's saying, but Ramban is, as he often does, just drinking Rashi. And he says he doesn't agree that any of the children of Benjamin, their families died. He says that some of them are not listed because they were important in Egypt, but once they left Egypt, they were no longer.
so he says there just were no biggies anymore.
No big
They
deal.
cut them out. Okay. Yes.
So what's the rationale for the Levites pursuing?
These people were trying to go back to Egypt, and the Levites understood that if they go back, all of the Bnei Yisrael were going to go back to Egypt, and so they killed them rather than let them desert. They didn't want them to be deserters. It stopped them from jumping off the ship. Nobody could go back. The Torah says about battle, you're supposed to break their knees if they try to escape. So the Levites were upset. Now, I want to go to the next Rashi where it says something very powerful also. Okay. That as follows. That it says in verse 24, it says the children of Bear, can you bring in the paperclip to Alan? He's trying to save our refrigerator, but we're not certain it's gonna work. Okay. So he thinks the paperclip will save our fridge. Okay. The interesting thing is, I want to say this. I'm pretty sure like the refrigerator's appliance lasts like, what's the life of an appliance? 10 years, right? That's how much people say appliances last. The refrigerator probably, okay, it'll go. It's not gone. In the basement of the yeshiva is a freezer, which is at least 70 years old. That freezer is the best freezer I've ever encountered in my life. The things there freeze instantly. Stop, nothing gets freezer burned. It's a geschmack freezer, and it's got to be original with the house. You cannot remove it.
Like a big chunk of ice also, right?
Yeah, it's geschmack.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Like that.
They don't, like it was not. I promise you, it was not made in China. It was made right here in DC. Yeah. Oh, that was here. It goes back 80 years. Like Rabbi Mintz probably got it with the house. You can't get that in or out of the house. I don't know how they got it in. Yeah, I don't know how they got it.
Actually too big to take out.
Yeah, because I was looking at it when we.
You need to cut it out with a chainsaw.
Yeah, you could destroy it to get it out, but how else would they have gotten it in? It must be like they put the freezer there and built the house around it. Okay, so now it says as follows. In the verse, it says that from the tribe of Yisachar, Toa, the family of Toai, Puva, the family of Puni, and Yashuv, the family of Yashuvi, and Shimron, the family of Shimroni. So Rashi says something also here powerful. He's talking about the missing families. You see, if you didn't have Rashi, we would just look at these genealogy and our eyes would glaze over and we wouldn't notice anything. We'll be like, oh, this Torah portion, it's not interesting. It's not speaking to me. God forbid. It's not speaking to me. But Rashi holds it up. Ezra, it's exciting. So it says, first of all, he says, Yashov is the same person as Yov, who's mentioned amongst those who went down to Egypt. Because all the families were called by the names of those who went down to Egypt. But regarding those who were born from then on, the families were not called by their names, except for the families of Ephraim and Manasseh. They were all born in Egypt. And now Rashi says, and I found in the treatise of Rabbi Moshe Hadarshan, this was a rabbi who lived a little bit before Rashi in the south of France, that their mothers went down to Egypt when she was pregnant with them. Therefore, they were divided into separate families, like Chatzor and Hamul, who are grandsons of Judah, and Chaver and Malkiel, who are children of Asher. And Rashi says, if this is an agada, if this is an accepted tradition, then I say fine. But if it's not, I say that Bela had many sons, and from these two, a large family emerged. And the family of the offspring of the other sons of Bela were called by the name of Bela. Okay. Now, there are 5 families missing from the sons of Benjamin. Here, part of the prophecy of his mother Rachel was fulfilled, because Rachel, the mother of Benjamin, she called him Ben Oni, which means son of mourning, and meaning to say that these 5 Benjamin, she says, my son is called the son of mourning, because 5 of his sons died, and then the remainder of his sons died in the story which takes place at the end of Judges, chapter 19, called the concubine of Gibeah. There, Rashi says, I found this in the treatise of Rav Moshe Darshan. Did you have something to add, Eitan?
That was so much.
There were 300 men left from Yavesh Gilad, and they realized that they had nobody to marry, so they had to kidnap the women because they had taken an oath not to marry into Benjamin. It's a story at the end of the book of Judges. Yes, Eitan?
Maybe that was actually just what Rashi, well, not Rashi, what Rambam, there.
Okay, we let it go?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we go on. And we're going to say the next Rashi, which we want to talk about, okay, is verse 46. It says the name of Asher, or his family, goes through his families, and then it says the name of the daughter of Asher was Sarach, or Serach. So why does it mention the name? It never mentions girls, almost never. All of a sudden, it mentions the name of the daughter of Asher. Why is she appearing? Why of nowhere is the name of the daughter of Asher appearing? So Rashi tells us the Shem Bat Asher was Sarach Kafi Shaita Kayemet B'Chayim Minakan. She was still alive. She was still alive. She was the daughter of Asher, and now it's 210 years after they went down to Egypt. She was still alive, and what the Midrash states elsewhere, Rashi doesn't cite it because she was the one who told Yaakov, or she sang to Yaakov, and so therefore she was blessed with very long life. But she didn't get a portion of the land, so the land wasn't given to her, but she was at least mentioned here because of the longevity. And then it says, okay, now we're going to talk about how the land was divided. This is going to be inheritance. This is very complicated, but how did they inherit it? It says in the verse, to the tribe of many you shall increase its inheritance. L'rav tarben nachlato, v'lamiat tamit nachlato, ishafi pukudav yutan nachlato. For the tribe of many, you increase its inheritance. To the tribe of few, you shall lessen it. Each one according to his countenance shall his inheritance be given. So how did they divide up the land? Yeah, Jerry, you had a question?
Yeah, what pasuk are you dealing with?
I'm reading chapter 26, verse 54. Because it's the last day and there's a lot of genealogy, I'm skipping a lot of the Rashis to just hit the highlights because there's a lot of genealogy. So I don't want to, usually we read every pasuk, but in this time it's genealogy and there's a lot of verses where there's no Rashi on it. So that's why I skipped. So Rashi says, what does it mean? To the tribe that was many, they got a greater inheritance, and to the fewer tribe, they got less. Each one, according to his countenance, should get his inheritance. But the problem is, wasn't the inheritance given out by a lottery? So how could you say that if you were many, that you got more? Doesn't make sense. So therefore, for this reason, Rashi tells us as follows. To the tribe that was numerous, they gave a large portion. Even though the portions were not equal, for it was entirely according to the number of the tribe that they divided the portions. Yet they still used the lottery. So we have a problem. If you're going to use a lottery, then how can you determine that everybody who's a bigger tribe gets more land? Isn't the lottery meaning random?
Yeah.
What's the answer, Moshe?
I couldn't tell you.
It's not immaculate.
So
Right. So what happened was the Gorol was conducted by God. The lottery was conducted through the Ruach HaKodesh, through divine inspirations. God arranged the lottery. So it's as follows. Wait. Yeah, God gave that. Yeah, that the greater the tribe got a bigger portion. So the lottery came out the way God wanted it, and it happened to jive with the fact that this tribe was bigger. It just happened to work out exactly. Hold on, let me read the Rashi.
some tribes got certain parts, like some.
Right, let me read the Rashi. Hold on. Let's read the Rashi. It states, and we're going to get this, God willing, or in the Daf Yomi, we're going to get to this, God willing, in 90 days. God willing, in 90 days. But Basra 122. It says Elazar the Kohen would be wearing the Urim V'Tumim. That was the oracle. And he would say, by the Holy Spirit, if such and such a tribe comes up in the lottery, such and such an area shall come up with him. And the names of the tribes were written on 12 tickets. And the 12 areas described in their boundaries were written on 12 tickets. And they mixed them up in a box. And the prince of each tribe would stick his hand into it and take 2 tickets. And they would come up in his hand a ticket with the name of his tribe and a ticket with the boundary described on it. And the lot itself, this is like straight, Havdil, Alfei Avdal, to make 1,000,000,001 distinctions, straight out of Harry Potter. The lot itself would shout out and say, the Goro would speak. The lot is like a little wooden thing. The lot would shout out and speak, I, the lot, came up for such and such boundary, for such and such tribe, as it says, Al Pi Hagoral, by the mouth of the lottery. And the land was not divided by measure of area, because some areas are better. So they had to do it by assessment of the value. Basically, like you would get one small apartment in Dupont Circle would be equivalent to a mansion in Kent Mill.
Yeah.
That's just legitimately the price. Right. You could get an apartment in Kent Mill and, whatever. It's just, that's how they divided, not based upon square area. They went on value. Anyway, that's how the land was divided. It was a lottery, but nobody here is skeptical about it because we have full faith in Rashi, but some other people might have been skeptical and think that maybe it was rigged. Like, they did when the Knicks got Patrick Ewing and they rigged the lottery. Remember those conspiracy theories? Can you imagine what the conspiracy theories would have done with this? They would not have been happy, right? Okay, so we have to daven mincha at this time. A big shkoyach to everybody. We'll daven mincha, Amar. And then remember, we have to move the refrigerator. You guys cannot leave until the refrigerator from downstairs is carried up. Okay, guys?